let's get into it. What's up, everybody? This is SMH Podcast. I am your host, Shania. Thank you for joining me for another episode. Clap it up for yourselves. Thank you guys for joining me. You can follow me on social media. My social media tags are SMH Podcast 96 on Instagram. And when you go on my Instagram, you can hit that link in my bio and it's going to take you to all my streaming platforms for my podcast. You can follow me on Facebook, SMH Podcast 96. It is a groups page on Facebook. And you can also follow me on Twitter, SMH Podcast 1. That is the app for it, SMH Podcast 1 for Twitter and on YouTube as well too. So I do want to let you guys know I am starting a Patreon and a Discord so that you guys can talk to me. I'm going to have some exclusive things on there. I'm still getting the things in work for it. But I do want you guys to know I'm working on it and we're going to get some really fun things started for our podcast really soon. So I'm excited for it. So I hope you guys are as well too. I started the Patreon really so that, you guys can have a community so that we can all talk to each other and grow and share ideas and just really just go over some things to help get over toxic traits we're going through. I don't want to get into it too much because I do want to have like a whole thing where I, talk to you about all the things that I'm offering on the Patreon. So I'm going to save that for another episode, but I do want you guys, I know I am working on it. It is in the course, so get ready for it soon. And we do have our website also about to drop as well soon. So thank you guys for joining me. We're going to get into the episode and we're going to get into our first segment and it is called What's for Tea? There's been a few things going on out there, y'all. It's a little tea worthy, but we're definitely gonna get into it. Let's get into the first segment. The first segment up for tea, I thought this was interesting, actually, even though it doesn't have anything to do with us. I just really thought it was something interesting. Well, and do with me because I live in California. It has to do with a lot of people in Louisiana. A new Louisiana law requires identification to access adult websites, and I thought that was very interesting. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, I thought it was interesting that adult websites would, that they would pass that as a law, because at the end of the day, I think it's strange that somebody would hold their ID up, every time they have to access an adult website. And an adult website doesn't have to be, a porn site. It can be a lot of websites that are like access over 18 and older. Like you could do like some shops, like when I was in college, there was like some shops like that sold like cannabis related things, like you have to be 18 or older. So some websites do have age restrictions depending on what they sell, like sex toys as well too. So I think it's just very interesting that they would pass a law to require identification before entering that website, because it's like, are we just going to hold our phone up? Are you going to have like a thing to where people have to scan their IDs and all that? I think that's a little dangerous as well too. I feel like that's just giving too much access to companies at the end of the day. So it's like I feel like if you're trying to control like the people who are shopping on these online websites and whatnot, then you should just make it to where they can't sell on these. And that's kind of unfair, honestly, to the businesses. I don't know. What do you guys think? But I think having people show their IDs and their identification just to prove their age is kind of a bit much. Maybe they can, I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to crack down on the age restrictions and all that, because I don't understand maybe they're trying to, control, like, I don't think there's like underage kids trying to post on like porn sites and all that. I hope not. I would hope not. I would really hope not. That would be really sad to hear that. But I mean, I'm just saying, what my point is like, what is the point of trying to have people showing their identifications before they enter these adult restricted websites? Because in my opinion, all I think about it is when it comes to like those type of websites would be porn, cannabis, and what was the other one I just said? You heard me, but it's like what and sex toys. So it's like, what are you trying to restrict much from? Like, there's not a lot of websites that are age restrictive. So what are you trying to like restrict kids from like being like doing and all that. I'm just very curious. I guess it's very, very curious. But that is a new law that just passed in Louisiana. So interesting law that they passed. But moving on, we're gonna go on to the next topic up for tea. America needs to chill. Apparently, military officials arrested the son of notorious drug lord El Chapo during a raid in Mexico, sparking violence throughout the city. So much so that the U.S. military had to get involved, and there was like a whole shootout that was going on. They were lighting that city up. When I there was a helicopter. I don't know if it was a helicopter or if it was like a plane, but it was shooting down. Things was getting blown up. Airplane got pretty much shot and had a bullet through it while it was trying to drive on the runway. People inside of the aircraft ducking down. Like, it was a full-on war zone. Let me tell you, it was crazy. Like, the videos that I seen, it was crazy. And I just don't. And I understand. Listen, I understand you're trying to crack down on the drugs in America, but listen, we don't need to put a bunch of people's lives at stake just for these few people. I think there's a way we can try to stop them in a way that's less collateral. I don't know, but I know that they're doing a lot of damage as well too on the other hand, so it's really hard to try to control this whole thing. But when I tell you the craziness that went on to try to make sure one man didn't get captured, oh, I can only imagine what is next to come, because that was wild. It was crazy. And just to think that that's the level of extent. But I guess his son was also kind of like the key ring person for like fentanyl, and there's been a crazy fentanyl going around. I mean, there's been weed laced with fentanyl, and sorry guys, there's been people being overdosing on fentanyl. There's been a whole fentanyl scare. So I kind of feel like it also adds to it. But I'm not going to lie, I feel like America likes to steer a narrative as well too. Hate to say that as well, but I mean, they like to push this media like, oh, there's a whole crisis, there's a whole problem and all that. Maybe maybe the whole buzz in the media, like people, like, I don't know, people probably like really were dying. I haven't like looked up like an actual case study, like, oh, this person died and all that, but I've been hearing a lot of stories about fentanyl, and fentanyl's been a real problem in America. So just to hear that they captured the ring person who was doing it is just, it's very interesting. Like, hopefully that problem will now start to die down, but I hope another problem doesn't, start. But we gonna get off of that, because I damn sure ain't trying to get captured by the cartel at all. Moving on, next up for tea, we're actually gonna send out our prayers for this one. I hate to put things like this on for tea, but next up for tea, we're gonna send our prayers to Damar Hamlin. He is a football player who was recently injured and hurt. He actually stopped breathing. He plays for the Buffalo Bills. He stopped breathing while he was on the field, and I believe they had to resuscitate him twice actually, and he's in very critical condition. So just prayers out to him, to his family. Hopefully he gets better. I pray and hope he gets better, because that is some sad stuff to hear, and it's just not okay. I mean, we at the end of the day, we see these people and they're sports stars and they're like celebrities to us, but at the end of the day, they're real people and they have real life and they go through real life things as well too. So just to hear that someone as young as him, he's so young, like I believe he's 24, and he had a cardiac arrest, and his heart basically stopped on the field, and he's doing something that he loves. Like that, I think that's just what's so sad about this whole story. He was doing something that he loves, and he loves so much. Like, he made a career out of it, and he could have lost his life to doing it. And it just makes you really think, like, life is really short. Like, life is so short. Like, we could go at any moment, like, doing the thing that we love most, being around the people we love the most. Like, no matter, like, it can happen to anybody at any time, anywhere. That's why we have to live our lives to the fullest and do the things that make us happy at the end of the day too. We have to live our life filled with happiness. We have to be happy individuals at the end of the day. We have to be happy and live our life through happiness. Do the things that make us happy and enjoy life, because you never know when you're gonna go. You definitely don't want to go and you're not doing something that makes you happy, or you're not in a happy space or a happy place at all. So really just think about, the choices that we make every day. Like, is this going to make me happy, or is this going to, anger me? Is this going to bring me joy, or is this going to take something from me? So I really think we need to just reevaluate things, because it's just so sad that someone so young is going through that, and he was doing something that he loves. So, and now after this, he's going to have to find a new passion and a new reason to live and all that. So hopefully he gets the therapy he needs, he gets the love and affection he needs, and God just keeps his hand on him. But we gonna move off of that and go on to our next story up for T. But prayers out to him, and I hope he really pushes through this. I really hope he pushes through this. But next up for T, on a lighter note, something that might cheer you up. A California beach, previously taken from Black owners in Jim Crow era, is to be sold back to the descendants, back to Los Angeles County for $20 million. That is amazing. They're going to sell the beach land back to the descendants for $20 million. That is amazing if you think about it. Like it's amazing. And I know a lot of people are like, why all of a sudden is this happening? I think it's a beautiful thing that is happening now. I think it's a beautiful thing that Black people are able to get the land that was taken from them back, so that they're able to, we used to have a Black Wall Street. We used to have Black cities and Black towns and all that. And I'm not saying that we need to have these segregated places and all that, but Black people, we just want a stamp in this world, because we feel like we really don't have it that much. We feel like we need our own businesses. We need our own place that we can go that is culturally for us. We feel like we live in a country that, we help build, but when you look around, it's not something that, shows us too much. So we just want a place that where we can showcase our culture, our the way we live, the way that we are, the way how we live and all that. So I think it's beautiful that, we're able to get that these people are able to get this type of land and be able to do what they want, even if they want to keep it to themselves or give it to them kids and create generational wealth. I think it's just very beautiful that things like this are happening. And, it's hard for things like that to happen. The process that they had to probably go through, the amount of patience that they had to have. You don't know what these people had to do to get this reward. So I don't even want to say reward, but to get this blessing done for them. I think it's beautiful. I think it's great, and I think it's just amazing. So shout out to California for getting that to happen, and shout out to those people for it to happen, and can't wait to see what happens in the future. But we're going to move on to that, and we're going to go up to our next thing up for T. And I believe it's going to be our last thing up for T until we get into our topic. But last up for T is Gabrielle Union. She opens up about feeling entitled to infidelity in her marriage because she was paying all the bills. And from what she was saying, there was a lot going on. The relationship was pretty much going bad from day one. They were pretty much cheating on each other. He cheated on her a lot more than she cheated on him. And when she decided to cheat, she was just like, forget, I don't care because I pay all the bills. And it pretty much got into a point to where they were just doing it to pretty much see who can hurt the other person. Like, okay, well, you did that, I'm gonna do this. You did that, I'm gonna do this. Tit for tat, playing the tit for tat game, and that never goes well for anybody. I'm letting you know. We're gonna have a talk about that in another episode, but I'm just letting you know that never goes well for anybody, because if all you're doing is being in a relationship so you can hurt that other person, you're just repeating a toxic cycle. You're not trying to solve any type of problem that's going on. If you're just doing something to hurt that other person because they did something to hurt you, if you're just trying to make that person feel how you want to feel, I get that. I get you want that other person so they can, at least sympathize with you and empathize with you on how you were feeling when you were going through that. But at the end of the day, you can't try to stoop down to another person's level and try to understand that person as well too, because what you think is low down and dirty, that person might not think is that low down and dirty, but what they think is low down and dirty, you might think is very low down and dirty. So you guys might have a different perspective of what is low down and dirty. And if you're playing this game of how dirty I can be and how low I can go, then you guys are just both creating toxic things within each other. So then when you go on to your next relationship, you're not going to know, if this person hurts me or if this person does something I don't like, is this my time to do that right back to them and how they're going to react to it. So we're just creating a cycle within ourselves to then put that onto somebody else, to then create another cycle within them so that they can go and create. You see how the cycle, repeats itself. So, well, you see how I'm explaining how the cycle repeats itself. I hope if you get it a little bit, but all I'm saying is like, if you're just unhappy with how that person's treating you and what you're doing, and especially if the relationship wasn't going good since day one, then I think you guys just need to separate. You guys just need to leave and not try to keep hurting the other person the way that person hurt you, because all you're doing is hurting yourself as well too, because you're allowing that person to hurt you. You're allowing that person to hurt you more than you just hurt them, because you guys are playing this game. It's at the end of the game, you got to understand it's a game that you're playing. If you're going to play the game, you got to deal with the consequences as well too, a part of the game as well too. So you can't be upset like, well, I do this and I do that. And it's like, if you're unhappy with the circumstances of your relationship because you paid everything, then you know what? Break up with him and get somebody that will pay for everything so that you don't have to feel like, this is the reason, this is why it's okay for me to cheat. Because just because you pay everything doesn't mean it's okay for you to cheat. Because cheating is wrong in general. Cheating is outright wrong. No matter who pays more of the bills, no matter who has more of the money, like, it's just outright wrong. I think it's wrong. So if you want to continue that cycle of, okay, I'm gonna get him like they got me, then, by all means do it. But I'm just saying, you got to deal with the consequences that come with it as well too. And it's like, if you gonna make your bed, you gotta lie in it. So, but moving off of that, we're going to get into our topic for today. And our topic is, what will people do for money? Lately, I've been on YouTube and I've been watching this whole pretty much battle between CoffeeZilla and Logan Paul. If you don't know who either of them are, we'll explain it to you for a second. But CoffeeZilla, he is a YouTuber, and pretty much he does investigations, and he does a lot of investigation for crypto people and crypto schemes and the people that's done crypto schemes, and pretty much exposing them on YouTube with his investigations. And he's really good, very thorough, does his background checks, very, very, very thorough guy. I actually really like the information that he does and the information that he gives out as well too, and the due diligence that he does. He does a lot of due diligence. I will say that. I guess he's been working on this whole thing about Logan Paul for about a year. If you don't know who Logan Paul is also a YouTuber. He started off as a YouTuber. He was a boxer, and he now has a podcast called Impulsive, if you don't know who Logan Paul is. But Logan Paul is a very interesting guy. I say that loosely. He's a very interesting guy, though, because I think Logan Paul... And I say that because I say it like, my topic for today is what people would do for money. I don't think, and I bring up Logan Paul because I don't think he has a cap to what he would do for money. Logan Paul, a couple years ago, had a very controversial thing going on when he went to a forest. And the forest was pretty much in Japan. And that forest was pretty much known for people committing suicide. He decides when he goes to Japan, pretty much he's acting an ass the whole time he goes to Japan. He is acting a complete ass, mocking people, doing just ridiculous stuff, and no type of decorum at all. No type of decorum at all. And so for me, looking at the videos and all that, I'm just like, this guy, like, is he doing it for views, or is he doing it because, this is just how he acts? This is the type of guy he is. This is, what he does and all that. It's like, if that's the type of guy he is, he's kind of he's silly. In real life, he's silly as hell, and an embarrassment. He's kind of embarrassing. Like, if this is what you do in public, dude, you're embarrassing. Like, you're in a foreign country and you're acting like this. No. Like, we can have fun, but you're being extra, bro. Like, he was extra. So from him going to Japan and the videos but then him going into the suicide forest. Now, there is postings everywhere that says do not take cameras in, you're not allowed to record and all that. Logan seems like the guy, he just disregards the rules. He doesn't really care about the rules. He doesn't really care about, I don't have to follow these rules, and even if I do have to follow these rules, like, who cares? Like, he just seems like, who cares at the end of the day? Like, I'll do what I want, and if there's backlash, then I'll deal with it then. Like, that's what the type of guy he is. He doesn't really seem like he cares much for rules. So he goes into this forest and decides to record. He finds someone who has actually committed suicide and decides to record it and post it on YouTube for views. Now, for me, it was a conscious decision for him to do that. It was a conscious decision because, one, you played back all the videos you did when you went to Japan. You looked at all the videos you did when you went to Japan. You edited all those videos. And you even thought about, you had to have a moment to where you thought about, should I post this? Should I do this? And your thought was yes. There was a thought to you. You were like, yes, it's okay. It'll be okay. It's not going to be that bad. I'm just showing something, and I'm just showing, like, something in your brain convinced you to post it because if something didn't tell you that it was okay to post it, you wouldn't have posted it in general. You would have cut that part out of your thing, but you posted it. And then the backlash came, and it made headline national news. It made worldwide news, honestly, actually. And you had to apologize for it. So, and the apology I didn't feel was that sincere. So you go on, you clean yourself up, and you become a different type of guy, and then people get to connect with you on a personal level when you created your podcast. But then you got into scamming people with the whole crypto things. This wasn't what CoffeeZilla exposed. Wasn't just one crypto scheme. Well, it was a main crypto scheme, but apparently he has like 2 other crypto schemes he was into, where he's made hundreds to millions of dollars, and he has people who's invested in him who were pretty much broke, and they lost everything, lost their life savings, and his fans that supported him, that put their own money into it, lost their money as well too. And pretty much he put a response out to CoffeeZilla. This response was just not that long ago, and his response pretty much was not him taking accountability for anything that he did. He pretty much passed the blame, like, I was scammed too, and I didn't know that this was happening, and I'm still like, he pretty much made himself seem like a victim as well too. And for me, when I heard his response, it just fumed to me. I was just like, this is him. Like, he doesn't seem like he cares. He doesn't really care. Like, to him, making money is more important than morals. Making money is more important than him sympathizing with his fans, or even being able to acknowledge, hey, maybe there was something I did that could have prevented this or stopped this or helped this. And even if I don't feel like I'm in the wrong, at least acknowledge that I did something to contribute to people being hurt. Like, at the end of the day, we have to at least contribute to, even if we don't see the other side, like, that person is still hurt. We should at least acknowledge, like, hey, I hurt this person. They're clearly telling me they're hurt. I might not understand why they're hurt, even though, we might talk about it and explain it. I don't understand how they got hurt, but maybe I just don't understand that, but I have to acknowledge, hey, that person's hurt. How can we move forward from that hurt? But he doesn't even want to acknowledge that. So I bring in what people would do for money, because it's like, Logan Paul, he don't seem like he needs the money. you have a whole podcast I know you make money from. You're a boxer, you have money, you're an actor. Like it feels like you have money from a lot of different places, but to me it seems like you don't care how you make the money as long as you make the money. Like, and so for me, it's like, I feel like a lot of the time his integrity is compromised just to make money, just to be able to make views and all that. Because when I was watching, it was also something that happened not too long ago, right before this whole cryptocurrency thing sparked between him and CoffeeZilla. He was on the podcast, and it was a viral video that went on, even on TikTok as well too. It was a viral video where he was getting into a whole conversation with his best friend, and his best friend was pretty much expressing to him the hurt that he has when talking about his religion to him. He feels like he talks to him very low. He says very negatively to him when it comes to religion. Like, even though he doesn't agree with it or see this point of view, he talks to him very low and very negatively. And for me, it's like, dude, you're on a public podcast, your own public podcast, and you're still talking to your best friend in a negative way when he's coming to you in a very sincere way. And I feel like I don't know if it was to create content. And it was like, if you're trying to antagonize this so that you can have content, and I think that's kind of a negative way to create content, like to go after somebody's religion in order to make money. Like, you make money off of this at the end of the day. You post it on YouTube. Like, there's money being made from your podcast. So in order to, I don't know, drive the conversation, you decided to stir up some controversy so that, the conversation can keep going. I don't know. But at the end of the day, your best friend came to you very sincerely to talk to you about something that hurts him, the way that you speak. And it's like, if you love this person, he's calling you his best friend. If you love this person, you will come to them, you will try to understand their side. Even if you don't agree with it, you'll come to an understanding to where, you can come to a compromise. Maybe I don't have to speak so lowly to him. Maybe I don't have to say these negative things to him, even though that's how I feel. And I can change the way I, speak to him to where he doesn't feel like I'm just attacking him or coming after him for what he chooses to believe. You can't get mad at somebody because of what they choose to believe or what they choose to do. All you can do, if you really truly love that person, is support them through what they do, and support them even if you don't agree all the times. I mean, that's what love is love is the fact that you can love someone unconditionally and being able to accept them for who they are, and not trying to create this person of them in your head and then get upset with them when they're not acting as such. So I just feel like Logan does a lot. I feel like he compromises his morals, his values for money, and he does a lot of controversial things that kind of bites him in the ass at the end of the day, because I don't know if it's for, and it's like, you can't always do things for attention. It can't always be for attention or for money. So it's like, what kind of thrill do you get out? Do you get thrill out of just doing dumb shit because, you can, because you have nothing else going? It's like, you shouldn't get into things like that, because you're going to get exposed one day. The truth will come out one day doing shady things, and the truth came out for him, and instead of acknowledging it, he decided to run from it and still try to play victim about it. So it's interesting to see how this all comes out. But I really say this to really spark the question in you guys' mind, like, what are you going to do for money? Are you going to compromise your morals, your values, and what you believe and your integrity just to make money? I mean, we have people out here doing OnlyFans work, and I'm not saying, hey, you can't get on OnlyFans and do some wholesome stuff, but the connotation that OnlyFans have and you being on there doesn't really sound like a good connotation to have attached to your name. So, and then the people who are on OnlyFans doing that type of explicit work, are you sure you want to do that for money? I really want to get into that, into another topic. But I just, are you sure? What are you willing to compromise for money? Are you willing to compromise your morals and give up what you believe and what you think and feel just to make a quick buck or make some money, or to say that you have money? Because money is the root to evil at the end of the day. We have to really think about that. We have to focus really on God. God will provide everything that you ever need, ever wish for, and he'll provide the money for it, as long as you focus on your goals and your dreams and what makes you happy. And I get it, sometimes money does make people happy, but focusing solely on money and how you can make it, and what you're willing to do. I mean, there's this girl, I forgot her name, I think her name is Key, and she be on there with her baby daddy, and just the things that they be talking about. She be messing around with his baby, his uncles, his cousins, his brothers, and she got side niggas, and it's like the imagery she is putting out there of herself. It's like, in the long run, are you going to be proud of that? Because right now you making money, I get that. Right now she says she don't give a damn. She will do anything to make some money right now. She don't care how it makes her look. But in the long run, when you really think about it, in a couple of years, I don't know about her, but I don't think I'll be proud of the person I put out there. I don't think I'd be proud of the imagery I'm showcasing to people, the imagery I'm doing for people. Like, not everything is good just because you're making money, because money comes and goes. We all have waves of money. I feel like there's times when we have a lot of money. There's times when we don't have a lot of money. Like, we got to stop looking at these celebrities like they're just rich and they just got money all the time. With more money comes with more problems and more responsibilities and more issues. And you can't just think because the higher status that person has, the more money that they have, the more, like, no. We got to think about things in a real logical standpoint. This person might make that much money, but their bills might exceed that amount of money. Their bills might be half of that amount of money. Their bills might be, a quarter of that amount of money. You never know how things work out and what people are really working with at the end of the day. Social media, and we all just show what we want people to see and not what's really going on behind the scenes. So really think about that when you're posting and putting yourself out there, and the things you're trying to acquire when being out there on social media just for money. What are you, like, really think about the things that you're doing just to make money. Am I exploiting myself? Am I putting myself too much out there just because it makes money? Am I overworking myself just to make some money? That's also a thing too. Don't overwork yourself just because of money. Don't push yourself too much just because you got to make some money. You got to have a belief in something. I believe in God. God will provide anything I need, even if I can't provide it for myself. So really try to hold on to something, hold on to your morals and values, and not compromise them just because you're going to make some money. I mean, you could end up like Hershon, which is like, oh my gosh, I'll be like Hershon. But I don't think that's a good thing. Where Shawty was to where she is now, I don't think it's that. And I wish the healing for her. I wish she would get out, and I hope she gets out of this situation and be able to flourish to the person that she really should be. But this imagery she has right now going through the media, the person, I don't think it's a positive one. But we're going to get off of that, and I do appreciate you guys for listening to the episode. I love you guys so much. You can follow me on social media. Social media tags is SMH Podcast 96. You can follow me on Twitter, SMH Podcast 1. That is the @ for it, as well as Facebook groups. It's SMH Podcast 96 as well too. But hit the link in my bio of my Instagram. I am going to be starting a Patreon and a Discord soon, so you guys can listen and follow up with me. Can't wait to get on there with you guys, have some teachings, have some lessons behind the scenes going. But I am going to get into another episode when I have more details for you guys once I'm finished. But I love you guys. Follow me. Try to get out of that toxic behavior, y'all. Really think about what we out here doing for money. Like, and try to come up with some positive ways to make money. There's so many ways out here to make money nowadays. So many different things we could be doing to make money in a positive light that's not always so negative, that doesn't have to bring negativity to our names and around us, that doesn't have to create negative situations for us. There's so many positive things that we can be doing. So many. So love you guys. We're gonna get into another episode soon. I'm gonna be dropping really soon. I told y'all this is gonna be a whole new year. I'm gonna be posting more. Y'all gonna be hearing from me more. I love you guys. Shout out to y'all. But bye. I'll talk to y'all later.
I'm about to walk this motherfucker, man.